name is Andrew, and I am the host of this video series called The Humans of RippleX, where I interview each of our fellows in the RippleX Fellowship. So today we have Krish with us. Hello, Krish.
Hey, Andrew. Super excited.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. I'm just curious for everyone to know, could you please introduce yourself? Are you a founder, aspiring VC? What are your passions like?
Yeah, for sure, man. So my name is Krish. I'm a senior at Ivy Business School, which is at Western University. I'm going to be working in management consulting full-time down south in New York after graduation. But I think overall, I am an aspiring VC. However, I do think the end goal is also to be a founder / operator if I find an opportunity that I think, I'll be successful in and I'm really passionate about.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think all of us in the fellowship want to be be a VC, be a founder, be an investor. But that holds our passions together. So I'm curious, do you have like a specific industry you're interested in investing or building in?
Yeah, good question. I think in regards to industries, there's a few. So like transportation is one, okay. Autonomous vehicles and urban development. So I guess to give you an example of some companies in this space, it'd be like Nero, Cabana, Cul-de-sac, Lime, so on and so forth.
Right.
And I guess the reason I'm passionate in these industries, and I know I gave you 3 distinct ones, but they're somewhat interconnected, I guess, in a way. It's because I think after personally going to Europe, I noticed how much people's lives are genuinely improved when there's more walkability in the city. There's easier access to shared bikes and scooters, so on and so forth. So not only are people healthier, but also makes things more accessible for the average person versus if a city is purely built for roads. Also, I guess, these 3 industries I mentioned, they also have a tangible impact on our day-to-day lives. We use transportation on a daily basis. Some of us use delivery apps, I guess, on a daily basis as well. And hopefully we can reach a point, I guess, in North America where not everyone needs a car and we can start relying on shared vehicles or autonomous ride sharing to take us where we need to go.
Yeah, I think that's definitely really interesting. And I live in Montreal, one of the most accessible cities in the world, I think. And it's just been a pleasure to take the metro or take the bus or take the Bixi, which is our bike sharing platform, and just get around places. And it helps with the environment as well, right? Just sharing, but this sharing economy, I think, is growing.
Yeah, 100%. I think one other thing people forget is it helps local businesses a ton as well. Right. Because one of the things I learned this summer was when you have things like shared bikes, shared e-scooters, just for an example, people are forced to ride, I guess, within a certain radius, right? And because of that, they're going to be visiting those local businesses more often compared to if they had a car and they had access to a much larger radius, and they'd be going to businesses outside of their local network, if that makes sense. So that's another benefit, which I think a lot of local jurisdictions don't look at, but it's really, really valid one for sure.
Right. That's great. I'm just curious, what was your motivation to join the RippleX Fellowship?
Yeah. So I think in the past, I've had the opportunity to work at startups in a growth setting, operations strategy. I've also had the opportunity to work with startups as a pro bono consultant. Yeah. But I figured, I guess, with RippleX, I can learn about startups through a different perspective, and that's the VC perspective. And I mentioned before, one of my goals is to be a operator or co-founder or founder in the future. And I feel by having all these perspectives, I can, really build my skill set and be quote unquote an ideal founder, so to speak. I guess secondly, I wanted to meet a community of like-minded people like yourself, Andrew. My school is really focused on finance and consulting. So I haven't really had the opportunity to meet people who are interested in the tech side of things or in VC. So by meeting people in RippleX, I'm meeting people I normally, I guess, wouldn't see at school, and also building a new set of knowledge that, again, I otherwise would not have really gained.
Venture capital definitely isn't a mainstream kind of career path for many people. Even the university career centers maybe don't know how to advise students on going into careers in VC, but this fellowship has been great to speak with a lot of different people interested in the area and learn about it. So definitely resonate on that. Typical interview question: where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. Again, frankly speaking, it's one of those things that I can't predict for sure. But I guess looking right now and where I'm trying to go if I don't have my own startup in 5 years, then I see myself either working in a PM setting or VC setting.
Okay.
And the reason I say either is because I'm interested in working in both. As you can see, it is a trend with me. I like doing everything. But either in PM or VC, more likely in VC. But like I mentioned, things can change every day. So I'm willing to go with the flow and see where kind of my life takes me and where the tech road takes me, hopefully.
And I'm excited to see your journey. I'll keep in touch with that. My next question is maybe like, what is the best advice that you've ever gotten?
Yeah, I think the best advice I got was not to be comfortable.
Okay.
And what I mean by this is, oftentimes we seek maybe career paths even, or things in our lives to like reach a point of comfort and in our day to day. And I think comfort is fine to a certain extent, but we should also push ourselves to be as slightly uncomfortable and learn new things, right? So maybe an example of this is traveling, right? A lot of times people, myself in the past included, want to travel to this very like, regular location, not regular, very popular locations, let's say Paris and Mexico City. However, in traveling, there are other places you can also go, maybe outside your comfort zone. So for example, Eastern Europe is a little bit uncommon place to go. For me, I really want to travel and visit, South Asia and Southeast Asia. So example of one, of course, in career paths, I think tech is a very good example. In our school, I guess the more comfort-based path would be, finance and consulting. And again, I'm going into consulting, but taking that risk perhaps in going into VC would be that quote unquote uncomfortable route. So really a lot of examples of this. I'm not sure if I gave the best ones, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say there.
Yeah, definitely. They say, high risk, high return.
Exactly.
Risk adjusted, but I think that definitely is the way to go. And I think I use this analogy in like an interview or something, but like even when you're like working out, you need to like put pressure on your muscles and like tear them actually like to grow. So I think once you put that kind of positive pressure on yourself, it like leads to growth that you may not even like imagine possible. So
yeah, exactly. And I think one other example I failed to mention is just meeting people, right? I think meeting people is something that is inherently uncomfortable to all of us. To a certain extent, it's a little bit daunting meeting people, especially somebody who maybe we see as, we look up to, for example. But I think that being uncomfortable is okay in that scenario, and you should embrace it. And you should approach these people, whether it be for a coffee chat or just like a regular chat. And that way you can, build those relationships and just, gain broader sense of knowledge and whatnot. So.
Yeah, definitely resonate with that. The best learning often comes from like these chats and just like meeting people, even in the weirdest ways.
Yeah, so, of course.
So if people wanted to connect with you, Krish, what should they do?
Yeah, you can, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn or Twitter. I also have recently made my own website, krishgandhi.com, where you can find, different ways to connect with me, whether it be email or my socials. So yeah, would love to connect.
Awesome. Well, Krish, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and I'll definitely stay tuned to your story as we go.
Thanks, Andrew. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. So everyone, that's it for today. We had Krish on with us today. And more fellows are to come, so please stay tuned. Bye.